remember yesterday when we were talking about Godzilla?
Yeah.
And we asked about...
There's a lot of backlash right now.
Well, no, it's not about that, but I'm saying we asked a question, why isn't it being played on HBO Max? Why wouldn't... There's a new Godzilla show coming out, and the question was like, why isn't it going to be on HBO Max when Warner Brothers has been producing all of the Godzilla movies through Legendary? But this article is from Bounding Into Comics, and it's not just about the Monsterverse, but it's about the handling of the Justice League scandal, which we talked about with Ray Fisher. And there's this boycott. Bless you.
Sorry,
it's not really what you say for hiccups, but bless you anyway. It says there's a boycott here. Boycotts are always funny to cover because they never work. In my opinion, it's like when people boycotted like. You okay there?
That was my third one. I don't know. They'll go away.
There's always a boycott of some product or another because of Gillette, of whatever it is, for whatever reason. It's stupid. But this one's interesting because it does feel like it kind of all goes wrong for Warner Brothers all the time and they can't win. It says the company and its subsidiaries may not be circling the drain yet, but Warner Brothers is on an infirm plane at the moment, PR-wise, between the problems at DC Comics and Joss Whedon's recent attempt at explaining himself and clearing his name, literally the worst attempt at explaining himself in the history of the world, maybe ever. Neither case is going right for those who would benefit, and fans are rebelling even harder on Twitter. There is the hashtag BoycottWB to trend in the trending topics. One of my favorite memes right now is all these memes about it's like things of Disney, and they're giving their fans exactly what they want, and then it's DC and it's Superman holding Superman by the neck.
There's an article that I want us to talk about Disney since you brought it up because it's about fandoms.
Okay, we'll talk about it tomorrow. Ray Fisher is still hammering them online, saying Jeff Johns is still a racist. I don't agree with that. I think that's, and he puts his stupid hashtag, which is art or accountability over entertainment. I think he's attention seeking at this point. I think he had a strong case with Whedon ruining his thing in the movie, but I think labeling someone like that is a lot different than saying they're just a bad boss or just I dislike that, but I always hate the buzzwords and stuff like that. Ray Fisher is a fine actor, but I just that part, but what I'm saying is that he's adding to this. He's not helping their case, so I can't feel bad for Warner Brothers and DC either because they're not doing a great job. So it says he doesn't like Jeff. It says neither case is going right for those who would benefit, and fans are rebelling even harder on Twitter. They've got the hashtag BoycottWB to trend with in top topics in the past week on more than one occasion, and they've taken the side of Ray Fisher, who then is speaking out against Jeff Johns. It says Twitter is of the opinion that Fisher really is standing up for racial injustice in the workplace. He was also calling it's the Ray Fisher thing. It's not as super relevant, but they're also unhappy with how they're handling the Monsterverse, which is to say that.
Oh wait, the WB did the Mummy. That was supposed to be the Monsterverse too. The start of it. The start.
Yeah, they have their own thing, which was a horrible movie and stuff like that. So basically, I should say, have you ever been through an occasion where one of these things actually worked, where like a boycott campaign actually came out and worked for the fans, and the company maybe didn't went under, but changed their practices?
Nothing comes to mind super specifically, but I think boycotts have sort of become a more long-term thing. It's like, yeah, we're boycotting them, but usually you need to have like a call to action. Like, we're not purchasing from you until you fire this person. Yeah. Like, boycotts work from other angles, depending on what you're doing. If you're like, we want you to apologize for this or renounce this. Yeah. But I think more often we see boycotts become a long-term lifestyle. Like, it's not that we think in the next month this company or this production studio will change. We know, like, if you decide to boycott, I don't know, Dairy Queen, because Dairy Queen, no shade,
Ben Jerry's,
because they only buy international potatoes, and we really need to support the Idaho potato farmers. Yeah. That's not true of Dairy Queen. I'm just hypothetical. Yeah. Then you might always then avoid.
Yeah.
Didn't they do that for Starbucks for a little bit? They're boycotting against them because they're using plastic straws, and plastic straws are bad. They're bad for the environment and sea turtles. And then Starbucks finally did the whole new cups where it looks like a sippy cup.
There are a couple companies that no matter what, I do my best not to buy their products, and it's just because even though my whatever amount of money I would spend there isn't going to change the world, I know that is how I use my voice, and it's also a concession. Like, you should not, the idea that a micro change is important, and like, even if that company's never going to collapse because I stopped buying their shoes or whatever else. Like, I don't support them, and therefore I should never contribute to them.
Well, it's the same thing like Nike, because a lot of people wanted to boycott against Nike because like a lot of their factories are in third world countries and they do have child workers there. And a lot of people are like, don't buy Nike, but Nike will never go out of business. But also, you're a human being. If you want to boycott against DC or Warner Brothers, you're a grown person. You have the right to not watch it. You don't. If you want to boycott, you can just turn it off.
I just always
One
think
of the
funny.
things I love about Brave is that they give you, when you sign up, again, not sponsored by Brave, but let us know, the Brave attention token, and you can turn it on or off, and you get basically earn cryptocurrency for when you view ads. And I love that because it's like, it's recognizing that one of the most valuable assets you have for online companies or anything right now is how you spend your attention. And I think about that here, like, if you don't like it, like maybe
they called it in the social dilemma. It's the attention economy. It's how they keep your eyeball on screen.
But like, you're a grown person. You have the right to choose what you watch and don't watch. Like,
I don't know that I would be behind this boycott. I'm just saying
they have proved that it works too, because they advertised for getting the Snyder Cut released for like 4 years, and they finally got it released, which might be the greatest accomplishment in any fandom ever.
Look at Sonic.
I think in our world right now, you asked me if I think boycotts are effective. Like, I think they can be, but I think they are not as instantaneous as people realize, especially since, like, if they're fiscal boycotts, if you're not buying a product, or in this case, not like going to see a movie in that sense, like financially, they don't necessarily hurt till the end of the quarter or maybe the next year.
It was like when they boycotted Gillette, not realizing that they probably buy 50 other products that Johnson & Johnson or whatever their parent company actually makes. So they're not actually doing anything to...
Yeah, although I would say like companies like that they will terminate brands that aren't profitable. So like it's not worth doing. It's just that like if everyone doesn't buy Gillette this week, maybe you wouldn't have anyways. You have to, some things you have to see for a long term. Like you said, it took 4 years for them to get that released.
Okay, so, and then just the one more part at the end here, it says, and speaking of listening to fans, Warner Brothers fumbled another major ball in the game of blockbuster franchise IPs with the continuation of Legacy Entertainment's Monsterverse. They let it slip through their fingers. Despite the massive box office success of Godzilla vs. Kong, amid the dubious circumstances of a pandemic and combined worldwide grosses of 4 films over a decade, Warner's streaming contender HBO Max won't be the home of the new Godzilla TV show in development. We were just talking about this yesterday, and that was like, we didn't know. I hadn't read this article yet. I'd put this one on the back burner, and Miracle asks, why isn't it on HBO Max? It's exactly what you should be asking. So it says that honor goes to Apple TV, and now they managed to strike a deal to stream the show, and this development is causing a lot of buzz. So people are sick of WB constantly interfering in the process of making their movies. They seem to be making progress there by not cutting up Matt Reeves' new Batman movie. It's almost 3 hours long, so they're letting the director have free reign with that. They let James Gunn make what he wanted with the Suicide Squad and with the Peacemaker TV show. So they're making inroads in some respects. So maybe these, if not boycotts, constant pushback is at least helping right the direction of the ship, but they're not happy with what's going on with the TV show. So I don't know if the
answers.
We'll figure it out eventually.
Well, is Apple slowly trying to buy WB? Is that what they're trying to do?
No, that's not what they're saying here. Apple just happened to get a hold of this show.
I know, but like
WB is being sold off to Discovery Plus.
No.
They were AT&T, right? And then they got sold out. Now they're being sold off again. So they're constantly, imagine the budget.
Lots
of turmoil over there.
Well, it's the same thing with IDW, where they profit a lot, like not profit, they put a lot of their time into wokeism, and now they're losing their license to Transformers and G.I. Joe.
Yep, which is like as a license deal, like meaning that they don't own these properties, they're licensed out to them, and so their money comes in having the license with really well-known proproperties, and they've consistently let those fall down the tubes. Same with what Power Rangers is now at Boom Studios.
It's not by...
And Boom Studios is doing really well by they just give the fans what they want. They don't worry about the agenda.
Power Rangers Rangers, though.
Still ridiculously popular. It's
really popular with
Yeah.
kids and adults.
And there are so many iterations. I watched Power Rangers growing up.
Yeah. So I'm saying it's like they're on like the 9,000th version of it.
Yep.
It's evergreen.
Yep.
It is. It
Have
really
you
is.
watched the newest seasons where they brought all...
Hannah Claire's like, no, I've not watched
Okay.
the newest seasons.
So basically, there was like this one rendition of Power Rangers where they brought all the Red Rangers from different series to fight together.
That's so funny.
I loved it. Like, it was the greatest thing. And like my friend Zay, who's the button pusher for the news network, like we were talking about it and geeking out about it. He was like, yes, they brought it. And then
People love it. I mean, that's essentially what the Spider-Man movie
the
was.
guy,
right?
the guy who plays the Green Ranger still gets all this work from being the Green Ranger.
That's
you mean
amazing.
Tommy?
Yeah, well, he's the Green Ranger, Tommy.
The original one?
The original one. David Frank or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But that dude, like, and a lot of those actors, they make their money from going to cons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think we'll skip Podluck today and just keep this segment as it is, because that ended up being more interesting.
That was cool.
Interesting than I thought it was. So basically what I'm saying is if you're going to boycott, at least try to push for better changes and don't just quit for the sake of quitting. Try to push them to make meaningful changes, and they do seem to be doing that as far as like how they're handling the production of movies. Maybe not so much when it comes to like their licensing and stuff like that, but like I said, Warner Brothers is going through all these changes with ownership over the last several years. I mean, they were just sold and now they're being sold again. So,
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
I missed it when Warner Brothers used to have Warner Brothers for Kids.
I never said.
It used to be a Saturday cartoon thing.
Okay.
They used to have it. So, oh no, it's called Kids WB. My bad.
I remember that. I'm now still trying to picture Hannah Claire watching Power Rangers, though.
Oh yeah, no. I was.
Which one did you
The
watch?
thing is, I'm a '90s kid. I
Yep.
can't tell you, but it was like a Saturday morning cartoon that I was like, yes, Power Rangers. I mean, I have an older brother. Like, it was one of our shared like
and I'm
interests.
a '90s guy, so Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, was every guy my age's first crush.
I was a super intense tomboy, and like the color pink like repelled me, and I used to get so mad when people were like, do you like the pink one? I'd be like, no.
I do not like the pink one. And the original Yellow Ranger died in a car accident.
Yeah,
and
Trini.
They had to replace her.
Yeah, Ruckus Ali always sings about her.
And they were paid like dog, like crappy,
nothing.
like nothing.
But I mean, Power Rangers has lasted decades, and they've done animated versions, they've done live actions, they've had movies,
they have comic
lunch
books.
boxes.
The comic books are still like, they did a Kickstarter that's raising hundreds of thousands of dollars, and they make tons of money because they make anthology series.
Wait, Brett, have you ever read the Power Rangers versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles?
No, I've never.
Oh my God, you need to get reading now.
I imagine if they made an anime, I'd like an animated version of it. I'd like it because I loved Batman versus the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Well,
they
they did
the
the
most ridiculous concept you could ever come up with.
I think they did a collaboration with DC where it's Batman versus the Power Rangers.
Batman will always win because Batman gets special. he's their most profitable character, so it's like, how does Batman win this time? He always wins.
But it's just funny because like you wouldn't believe how much goes into Power Rangers.
Oh, I bet.
And like, are you familiar with the Netflix documentary series, The Toys That Made Us?
That seems like a cool series.
Yep.
It is a cool series. So basically, they talk about Power Rangers and how it became. So the guy who used to own Saban saw it in Japan, like the original series of Power Rangers. So it used to be called something else, like I can't remember the name. They will help me with it, but it's like the original series. Yep. Fresh out of Japan, he was watching it and he's like, I need the rights for that, and he bought it from them and he made it his own thing, and he was like, what should I name it? And he's like, Power Rangers.
That's a great name.
Yeah,
so cool.
And he was like, why not? This is mine now. And he's like, he has a heavy accent still to his old age.
Always reminds me of like the Green Lantern Corps in a way. Like I think of it that way.
They're slowly disappearing.
I know, right?
But I don't know. For me, like my favorite Power Ranger would be I forgot what their last name is, but it's Yoshi and Peter. They're brothers, and they both play the Blue Ranger in the newest series. So Peter is the older brother.
You're still watching it.
No. I watch it here and there because my brother loves it. Like, he watches all of it. So he watches Yu-Gi-Oh, he watches Pokemon, he watches Power
We're getting
Rangers.
like a bonus Power Ranger segment.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. Because I grew up on that. Like my uncle would like put it on for me and I would watch it. I'm like, this is really cool, even though like the acting's so terrible.
The acting is like, it's like purposely terrible. I love the use of miniatures.
But
I really do.
Peter and Yoshi, like they're professional stunt actors. I know we're almost time,
Yep.
but yeah, I don't know. It's like the greatest thing. We should do training for it, Brett.
Nah, I'm not doing that. Sorry.
Do the fake falls.
I will. Or like they punch somebody and for some reason sparks come out. And they never really explain why.
Because they're robots.
We should build our own Megazord. Thanks for watching this clip, guys. If you want to see full episodes or follow us on social media, links are in the description below. Bye.
Bye.